versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
It's a Monday post Super Bowl. What is up, Brigade? Matt and Dave back from Arizona. It is going to be a fun recap show. We promise not to cry too much here and work better than some of the applications that have been working here in the sports betting world. Whiteout for you, Mr. Sharapan. How are you on a Monday?
Yeah. I'm good. It's just the other jacket that I got down there, the starter jacket.
That's the jacket. I would wear that.
Yeah,
That's a very Miami
throwback.
I like that jacket
Got
a lot.
the great logo on the back. This logo on the back. Are you recovered?
No.
I mean, you and Farrah left. You got out of there Friday. I went to dinner with my nephews and
Nice.
brother-in-law Smoke, and then Saturday spent with my mother. She wore me out with all the questions and everything else. It was nice. And then Sunday I had to race back, and I got to speed up. Did you hit 100 on the drive back at all?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fair nose. Fair
Okay.
saw. A couple
That's
times I
fine.
had to. A couple times I was passing semi trucks and I had to make sure I was.
But
getting...
see, that's the thing, like,
Yeah.
right? So Jessica, Mrs. Kinsig, has this Life 360, which is a personal spy on me everywhere I go and everywhere my phone goes. I get a text as I'm driving on the one laner. You better slow down. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then she texts me and she's like, you hit 96. I'm like, I had to pass the truck. At one point I was going 15 on that road because,
Yeah.
and so as soon as you see that passing lane, you got to hit the gas and go. And I hit the gas and went.
Did you go through the town that was having the fair?
Oh,
The big rod? Like when we went through it, it was at night. So it was all lit up. And then there was a gigantic rodeo going on. And there was so much dust from the rodeo that it looked like actually, we thought it was like a forest fire or something. It was like, we were like, is that fog? No. Is that smoke? No. It's dust from the rodeo? Oh my gosh. We were like, get us out of here. We couldn't leave that town fast enough.
if you've ever done the drive between Vegas and Arizona to go to Phoenix, it's unique.
Yes.
There's a couple different places between Wickenburg.
That's what it was. Wickenburg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It was
Downtown Wickenburg, the Wickenburg, whatever it was, there were like so many trucks and trailers. We were like, this must be like a big deal down here. Like this was like an annual event, a big, huge rodeo, a Wickenburg rodeo. No. Yes. In those towns, I was doing 100 on the way out. Yes. Get me out.
You got to be careful, though. There's a lot of cops. But anyhow, back, I don't know about you. I'm tired as hell. Like
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I slept. I actually fell asleep during the game last night. First quarter, it was 7-7. I woke up, it was 14-7.
You
I
were
was like,
fired. You were fired the hell up last night for the Twitter Spaces.
I'm still fired up. We got a lot to get to. Brian Bennett's coming on from Betfred at the bottom of the hour. So before we get into that, let's talk about our lasting image of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl last night.
Oh boy!
So they win. How will you remember it? And I think my landscaping guy's here, unfortunately, on a Monday after the Super Bowl.
Did he get the memo?
Somebody
Between
didn't tell.
10 and 12, he ain't supposed to come.
Somebody didn't tell the landscaping guy. Yeah, there he is. So there he is. Yeah, he'll be gone quickly. But
All right,
what's your lasting image?
Mute your mic then while I'm talking.
Yeah.
Hit the mute the mic thing. My last thing, well, just hit it when and then you got to unmute it when you talk. You know how to work it, I think.
I do, but I don't.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You're gonna mess it up. Don't touch anything. My lasting impression is it was a great game. I enjoyed the game, the back and forth, the lead changes, the comeback by the Chiefs. Mahomes looked like he was never getting up again going into halftime. He comes back. The Chiefs figured out the Eagles. The Eagles get the ball and then tie it with the octopus and all of that cashes. And then you get an unfortunate call that, I mean, you can make it or not make it. You're not supposed to make it technically, yes, but he makes it and it decides the game, and that part of it sucks. But I still am going to remember it as being a good game. And the Chiefs are on the way to being a dynasty. They're on the way to being the Patriots. What?
Can I talk now? Can we please not use the dynasty word?
Not yet.
Can
You're
we
still not ready
please?
to do it?
Can we please stop? You have to win 3 and 4 years. Okay, they're on their way. I'll give you that. They're on their way. They're the closest to being a dynasty in the NFL by far. Totally agree with that point. But my lasting image is going to be the call that should never have been made. And I don't care what was said after the game. I don't care if people were saying, oh, it was, both players involved.
Well, the guy that did it said he did it.
I don't care about that, though. That doesn't matter to me. I mean, to me, I mean, that means he's honest. Bradbury's honest. I give him credit. I mean, that's the right thing to do. Hey, did you grab the guy? Yeah, I tugged his jersey.
Okay.
But the call wasn't egregious. Unless he's getting tackled, that call can't come out there. I mean, after all the belly aching Chief fans did going into it about the Carl Sheffer's crew coming in and working and how many flags they had thrown during Chief games and blah, they didn't throw many flags at all. And that was the referees were not going to be the story. They had stayed out of the way. They had not called many penalties at all, not many holding calls, not many pass interference calls.
Right.
And then in the most important drive with the most important play, a flag comes out on a ticky-tack grab.
Weak. Yeah.
It's weak. I mean, Pat McAfee said it right. You just can't have it. Okay. You just can't have it. In that moment, you can't have it. And I totally agree with that point. Whether it's the right call or the wrong call, whether he did it or not, whether he admitted to it or not, you just can't have it in that moment to have it be the ending of the game because it ended the game.
Well, him sliding on the one ended the game officially.
Well, that was the right move. I mean, that was the right. I have no problem with that. That was right. You don't want to score a touchdown there. They're letting them score.
They couldn't stop them in the second half, though. I mean, the Eagles didn't lose because of that play. They put themselves in a position to lose with that play happening. But
look,
they couldn't stop them in the second half.
Yeah, and the Eagles couldn't be stopped in the first half. I mean, that's just the way the Eagles season has gone. The first half, they're the best first half team in football, and then one of the worst second half teams in football. But when you talk about great Super Bowls, I'm not mad that the Chiefs won. I'm mad that we got robbed of one of the most, or what could have been an iconic ending. I mean, when you talk about the greatest Super Bowls of all time,
Chiefs fans and Chiefs backers, it was an iconic ending for.
But
Chiefs
it's not
fans.
going to. I'm
they
telling
drove
you,
down.
Maybe. I mean, people aren't going to.
And they kicked the game-winning
There
field.
was a minute 40 to go. It was anticlimactic. It was boring. Kneel down, run, or kneel down, field goal. That's boring. That's not. He blew the last minute and 40 seconds. There was plenty of time for a field goal to be taken, and the Eagles
in that position.
Of course they did. I'm not blaming the Chiefs. I'm blaming the call
from them.
I'm blaming the call. The call took us away from. We had a 28-3 come from behind victory that went to overtime with the Patriots and the Falcons. We have David Tyree with a helmet catch that came down to have an incredible play. When you talk about
this happened once a decade.
We talk about great finishes. We're talking about iconic endings. I wanted to see if Jalen Hurts could do it. Everybody said Jalen Hurts couldn't do it. Team down, Super Bowl on the line. I want to see what Jalen Hurts can do by moving the football down the field against a Chief defense to either kick a game-tying field goal or a game-winning touchdown.
They don't always end like that. There's
right.
Storybook, but they end like that for the Chiefs.
And we were robbed by that. That was, as a football fan, that's what was robbed. That's why that flag can't come out. Let the players decide the game. Let them determine that throw was way over the top. The reason why they called holding versus pass interference is the ball was uncatchable. So they have to call they can't call pass interference. It's holding, and it's a ticky-tack. I almost feel better about pass interference than I do holding because more of the egregious stuff happened when the ball was in the air, and they called this a tug of the jersey, which is happening, 2 yards from the line of scrimmage? I mean,
it's within the 5 yards of mugging that you're allowed to do as a defensive player. Like, my guy Bernie Fratto has it on his Twitter feed this morning, the different like check marks, checklist as to what was going on.
Right.
Mahomes was throwing the ball away. It was an uncatchable ball.
Yes.
Like,
why can't be PI.
It couldn't be pass interference.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things. It's just like,
I mean, do
hey,
we
when they
all
meet, you're supposed to say, pick it up.
remember this call? Okay, let's put this on the screen. This is Washington against the Giants, end of the year, late in December with major playoff implications. Remember this? This call wasn't made. A flag did not come out when
Oh
this was
yeah.
going on. I mean, think about that. That in the Super Bowl, a guy throws a flag, but in the regular season, last play of the game, end of the game, this play by a defensive back doesn't bring out the flag, and it had major implications for the playoffs as to who was going to win the division, who's going to get a wild card. And yet, the play last night, that flag comes out, and everyone's like, well, yeah, that play has to be called. But precedent has been set where that flag is not thrown. That play
It was
is
thrown
not
last year in
flagged.
the Super Bowl in the same situation. It was thrown in the exact same situation. They threw Bengals were leading 20-16. They threw a flag inside of 2 minutes on the Bengals interference call. Right, gave the Rams first and goal from the 2. I saw a replay of it this morning. Same exact thing happened. They
I don't
let a
know.
lot go. They let a
It's
lot
too
go,
difficult. It's too
and it
difficult
went
to do
over.
that. It's too difficult to do that because it's different game plan, different flow.
Same exact thing.
Maybe the
Same
same
exact
call,
thing.
but this is the same call too. Then I mean, this is
They're all the same
so
call.
so there. I mean,
It happens in the NBA. It's traveling. It's not traveling. It's double dribble. It's not double dribble. It's a foul. It's not a foul against who it is. Refereeing is refereeing. It's
it's a
not.
problem. It's a
No,
problem. It's a big
it's
problem.
been a problem in sports for 100 years.
Yeah, but it's bigger now. There's more scrutiny now. There's
There's
more
just more
attention
crying
now.
about it. It's the same shit.
I don't
I
know it's
think
more
it's the same
crying.
shit.
I think it's the same problems, but it's being magnified or being showcased more because of the number of eyeballs and replays and social media. I think if we didn't have
That's
the
true.
ability to
Ugh.
take things and do what you just talked about, you can take last year's game and this year's game and you can juxtaposition them together with a tweet and say, look at this play. How is this play a foul and that play not? Why did the flag come out here and not there? It just shows the inconsistencies that we've been talking about for a while about what happens in sports, and it frustrates a lot of people. And
Yeah.
I mean, look, my lasting image is going to be the fact that I really wanted to know whether or not Jalen Hurts could do it, and I got robbed of that. So that's my anger. Not that the Chiefs won. I mean, the Eagles defense could not stop them at all. Eagles could not do enough on offense in the second half, and it was, I mean, there were some really crazy things that happened in that game. Obviously, the fumble return for a touchdown for the Eagles that Hurts fumbled and picked up on the Chiefs was massive. The doink, I never thought that thing was going to happen off the upright. That's a big pro bet at -600, -700 that a ball would not hit the upright, and it did.
Yeah, the public had a good day yesterday with the props.
That
Everybody
was a
hit
prop
that was a
that
plus 450, plus $5.
that came
Yeah.
in and hit with that.
The
So
doink.
the other thing that people are going to talk about is the fact that the field was a mess. And
Oh,
one of people's lasting images and lasting conversations are
jeez.
going to be that the field conditions were simply unplayable. Slipping and sliding, changing cleats, $800,000 was spent on
Yeah,
that field.
absurd.
And I don't know what it is, but players were saying it was the worst surface they've ever played on. Some called it dangerous to be a part of it. Didn't know if their foot was going to stay or not when
The
they were planting.
conspiracy theorists are already out.
Th-
This messed up the Eagles defense.
It did?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't believe that.
this messed up the Eagles defense. They had
No.
no traction. They couldn't. I mean, they didn't get to the quarterback. They didn't have
He-
one sack.
That's
Not
why
one.
they didn't have a sack.
It's pretty hard to rush the quarterback in that situation.
I mean, we
there
did
were
see it.
hardly any sacks, right?
We did see
It
it
was
with the
way up.
snow. Yeah, remember in the snow game when Buffalo couldn't get any pressure on Cincinnati?
Yeah.
I
They
guess there
had
could
more
be something to that.
traction in
Yeah.
Buffalo in the snow game than they had yesterday in Arizona for the Super Bowl. That's crazy to say, but there was better footing in that game than there was yesterday. It was terrible. The field was bad. I mean, it's just it's not I don't know what the need is to roll out a whole new field, new sod, grow this, never play on it, don't stamp it down, roll it. I mean, they did all that stuff, but it's still loose. You got to play on a field that's playable. I don't know.
It's
It was
something that we got
brutal.
to pay attention to here in Vegas. We'll talk more about the countdown to
Yeah.
Vegas in a little bit, but I mean, it's important to be able to know that this type of grass surface can hold. Otherwise, play on turf. Like if it's going to be dangerous, just play on field turf.
You have to do something to make sure. I mean, you put it in a perfect weather venue,
Right.
and it is a perfect night. I mean, it was a little desert cool air, but it's perfect. And yet the field is not perfect. It doesn't make sense. It's a shame that like last year's Super Bowl was decided with a penalty right before. Joe Burrow did have a chance with 30 seconds left, I think, to go down and win it. Couldn't do it. There wasn't enough time. But a flag decided last year. A flag basically decided this year. I don't want any more flags and any more bad grass in a Super Bowl, please. Enough of that.
We'll see. All right. So Brian Bennett of Betfred, last Friday, we couldn't do our new trick. We tried to go live on site and we couldn't get it to work. Well, he's been kind enough to
So
reschedule to
wait a
come
second.
on.
So he's gonna come on. So we actually are gonna hear him this time. We actually have to hear his nonsense. Is that what we're doing here?
Brian,
Look
Matt,
at
and Dave.
Brian. He looks
Hey,
great.
what's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank
Yes,
you
we
for
can,
being
sir.
flexible. That was an experiment on Friday that didn't work. Now we're back to our normal confines and things will work
That's
much
all right.
better.
That's all right.
First and foremost, congratulations on the launch here in Nevada for Betfred Sports and the Betfred Sportsbook at Virgin here, just off the strip in Vegas. How did the launch go last week?
Yeah, good. Things came in really hot. Just from obviously I say that, but it took us, took 2 years for the process to work through. But it came in pretty hot. We got through the Gaming Control Board Commission and board the week prior, or maybe 2 weeks prior. So we knew, we had to get technology up and running. We had to get staff trained. A lot of those things we couldn't really do sort of in the background until we knew definitively that things were going to go our way. So yeah, they came in hot. So we were a little nervous. We opened on Thursday, took our first bet, which is makes you a little bit nervous because biggest betting day of the year on Sunday, and we basically had 2 or 3 days of practice before going into it, but it went well. We didn't have any major hiccups. We had a decent crowd, so we were pretty happy with the launch, and we're just happy to finally get going in Nevada.
Ryan, it's a pleasure to see you. We've only chatted via text and stuff, so good to talk to you. First and foremost, what can someone expect when they come here and come to the location as far as windows, kiosks, things like that? Because I saw pictures of it. The screens look great. Looks like a great place to come hang out and watch a game. Eventually, hopefully, maybe we'll get to do a show from there, different
Yeah.
things like that. But if they're coming to town, which a lot of people are coming to town in March. There's another big betting event, things that maybe coming in March to Vegas. What are they going to see when they walk in the room?
Yeah, if you haven't been, if you were at the old Hard Rock, the book's in a completely different place now. It's not right there at the front where it used to be. So it's a little bit back. If people haven't been to the new property, it's kind of where the Lucky's Diner used to be when it was the Hard Rock.
Oh,
So it's back in that general area. Really nice video wall. It's small. It's small but mighty, we like to say. But the casino in general there is not huge.
right.
But it's a great place. It's a great video wall. We have 4 betting counters. We don't have kiosks yet. Kiosks are due end of the month.
Okay.
So we'll definitely have them before March Madness comes around. But it's a good, nice, tidy place to make a bet. And we got a really
Non-smoking in there, Brian?
non-smoking inside the book.
Okay.
And it's a good
Horses?
good staff.
Is horses or just sports?
Sports only for the now. No horses
Okay.
yet. I'm not
Okay.
sure we're going to do horses in that space. I don't know that the space really
Dictates it.
set up for that. It's
Yeah.
just it's not really a horse people sort of space.
In terms of what you guys will do when mobile goes legal. Now we've had, you mentioned 2 years where you guys were working through this process, but when we first started these conversations, you guys were really excited about what Betfred was going to be able to offer a Nevada sports bettor, whether it be a local or somebody coming into town. What will be the plan when you guys do go mobile? What will the experience be like online?
Yeah, so we're hoping to do mobile in time for football season. So it'll probably be like a summer type project, kind of where we're thinking right now. We're going to try to be aggressive. Nevada is a very different mobile market, obviously,
Yes.
than what's out there in the rest of the U.S. In terms of bonusing and promotions and props and all the different things you can do elsewhere. We want to be aggressive there. We want to have a similar product to what we do say in Ohio or Iowa or Colorado, whatever. So it is going to be it is on a different platform. So it's going to be a slightly different product than what you see out in the rest of the US. But we still want to, from a marketing perspective, we want to be aggressive. We want to, we want to create a nice betting experience that maybe people in Nevada don't get to experience as much with the current offerings.
It's out in the news today. My buddy Meltz tweeted it out about Betfred and IGT working together. Is that is IGT is going to power the stuff as far as that here in Nevada, but not elsewhere? Is that the deal?
Yeah, that's the way. Right now we use OpenBet.
Do you like it?
I
mean, it's
a loaded question.
I mean, there's a lot of challenges involved with it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
correct. Number one. Yes.
Right. So it's and the people I know that actually own their own tech, the grass is not always greener. They spend all their time complaining about their internal tech team. So technology is a tough. It's always a tough problem. So look, OpenBet is a good partner of ours. They've kept up with our demand. I think they deliver a quality product. Would I prefer to control my own tech and control my own roadmap? Absolutely, but that is not that is not available to us here in the U.S. So we work with OpenBet, and they've been a great partner of ours.
Is that a major challenge, Bri, as far as having two different under the same company, but like one state's using this and another state's using this? Because that's common. Believe it or not, people may not know that, but that's common among other books as well. You won't be the only ones doing that. Is that a major challenge behind the curtain?
Yeah, I mean, we've only been doing it for 5 days. Before that, we were a 100% OpenBet shop. So we've only been doing it for a little while. So it does create some challenges. Right now, as retail only in Nevada, it's a manageable challenge because it really only creates a challenge for the trade team. But then as we get mobile, right, then the marketing teams, customer service teams, product teams, now everyone's managing two different tech stacks. It's not ideal, but it's a manageable challenge that you mentioned lots of other companies deal with today.
Will you guys be aggressive in the bonus market? I know previously that was a thought that coming to Nevada, you guys wanted to shake the market up a little bit and do some different types of things mobilely once it goes legal in the summer.
Yeah, I think Nevadans get the short end of the stick when it comes to all the great bonusing opportunities that the rest of the country gets to take advantage of. You see it in Arizona. When we launched in Arizona, we saw a not an insignificant number of accounts with Nevada addresses driving over the state line. I'm sure you guys probably took advantage of that.
Mine being one of them. Yeah.
So I mean, we want to be aggressive. We want to create the best betting experience. Now, Nevada is a different market. There are a lot more sharps in Nevada. There are a lot more pros in Nevada. A lot of wannabe pros in Nevada. So we got to be careful as well, right? We don't. Bonus abuse is a real thing, and we're constantly putting processes and technology in place to manage through that.
Yeah, there's a term for them. I won't use the term right now, but there's a term for those people that use the bonuses to their advantage and get everyone that they know to bring busloads of people. Yes, it does rhyme with doors. Let's turn to the Super Bowl here real quick, Bryant. The game flew over. Kansas City won. How did the Super Bowl turn out for Betfred nationally? Because there were a lot of people that bet a lot of props and a lot of success for the people on the props. How'd the game work out for you guys?
Yeah, so I'll talk generalities. Obviously, I'm not going to talk exact numbers, but I can say that we took 4x the action we took last Super Bowl.
Excellent.
So it's great, right? We saw a nice big step function increase in our scale. Now we expected that because we're doing business in a bunch of different markets this year than we did last year. But it was nice to see, right, that step function increase in handle. We got the result we needed. We needed the Chiefs.
Right.
Could have done without the over. And, flat.
Break even,
which is fine. We didn't take a beating. I saw another book, I forget who it was, said that it was their single best day. I just find that hard to believe.
Well, they grade the futures in that number, Bryce. So
you know what?
When you grade the futures into all that kick, then it is their best day ever, right? A year's worth of action, and you graded it today. Of course, it's the biggest day ever.
Yeah, so if we took all the futures into account as well, then we had a great profitable day yesterday.
Right.
But the Super Bowl, just the game itself,
Yeah.
was yet not everyone, but a lot of them all came in.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone's the same way, right? Everyone wants to the public wants to bet overs, no one wants to bet unders. So
Right.
and the game coming in high scoring over game. Yeah, I was expecting something a little less than positive, so it was fine. I was more excited about. It was just a much bigger deal this year than it was last year.
Right. You guys sent a guy who had 50 dimes on the Chiefs to the game yesterday. I saw some larger wagers. And will you continue to do that here in Nevada?
Yeah, I mean, again, Nevada is a very different market. We don't want to we don't want to shy away from large wagers. I mean, we don't, that's. I think we're going to continue to. That's the way we're going to continue to govern our trade group here in the U.S. We're not entirely. Nevada is a different market for us. We're going to go in and see how things sort of shake out. But what we want to take bets. We're in the business to take bets. Fred started the company by winning a bet, so Betfred really is, from its DNA till today, is really we say it's a book built by a bettor, run by bettors for bettors, and we want to live up to that. We want to take action.
How's Ohio been, Brian? I mean, it's been a month, and you got a big event in, and my future's best scenario case was the Bengals getting in. It would have been a hell of a deal to have the Bengals be in the Super Bowl for all of us.
Yeah.
But how has Ohio been so far for you guys?
Ohio's been good for us. I mean, we obviously the Bengals partnership has been fantastic. It just gave us immediate sort of street cred and brand awareness. So
Yeah.
we didn't have to kind of fight through the brand awareness piece that we normally have to fight through. That said, it's also incredibly competitive. It is, while there aren't as many books as there are in Colorado, in Colorado got a lot of heat for the highly competitive nature. Ohio is, I mean, you can't turn a corner, turn on a station, turn on a game without just being inundated with ads. So it's incredibly challenging from a competitive perspective and very expensive. Now, we believe the Bengals partnership puts us at least in a different, category when it comes to being able to compete, but it's still highly competitive and very expensive. So we're happy with how we started. But we have a lot of work to do there, and we want to continue building on that as we kind of get in towards next football season, when we can actually realize the entire season of partnership with the Bengals.
Very cool. Brian, get you out here on this. In terms of March Madness, like Dave talked about, guys and girls who are coming to town, where can they go to find the book? What could they experience with the book? What do you hope people find out when they're going to go shop for Betfred here for March Madness?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's right there. If you want to go off strip, the version's a fantastic property. I think it's working through some of its own challenges as well. Obviously, it opened during the middle of the pandemic, and it's been sort of trying to play catch up ever since. But I think the property is. It was busy all weekend. So I think big events. Nobody likes big events like people coming to Vegas. I think March Madness will be similar, and we got a great staff, and we're there to take action. We're there to help out. We have a very experienced staff. So I think if you come down and want to lay action on March Madness or even the conference tournaments before that, we're likely going to do a sort of a formal opening during the conference tournament championship weekend.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Do a Vegas Golden Knight watch party, all sorts of stuff like that. So
Excellent.
it's going to be a lot of fun. Come down, give us a look. We're looking to take some action.
Very cool. Brian, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being flexible with us. Really appreciate it. Congrats again on the launch. Look to see you guys soon down the line. All right.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Right.
That's Brian Bennett from Betfred joining us here on the Bostonian versus the book. Good stuff with that. We'll get to the Ohio story. There is some news coming out of Ohio. The governor wants to change things up after
How
a month.
about that?
After a month or a couple of months of being illegal.
I mean, couldn't even wait till like the first quarter was over.
No. Tax rate, yeah, raise it. What? Yeah, we want to double it. Oh, okay. We'll get into that coming up.
Wouldn't have had as many people say yes to coming in.
Fair point. Yeah, it's a very good point.
All
right,
come on in. It's 10%. No, wait. We're going to change it after a month, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
According to the company GeoComply,
Yep.
over 100 million Super Bowl geolocation checks were done, which makes it the most legally bet Super Bowl in history.
Every time you get logged out or have to go back in, that counts as one, right? So every time, sometimes, you don't touch your screen for a minute and it
Logs
logs
you
you
out.
out, log back
Yep.
in, that counts as another one of those. So
According to
100 million people did not bet that, but you had to log in 100 million times and it confirmed that you were where you were at, or it denied your confirmation and you had to log back in 100 times. But either way, yeah, that's a lot of people. GeoComply was busy on Sunday.
25% year-over-year increase, according to a statement issued by the company.
How many new states from year over year?
The CEO, well, they detected 7.4 million individual accounts over the weekend, which was
There
a
you go.
32% increase from last year's Super Bowl. That was New York led the way with 13.9 geolocation checks, 12.5 in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Michigan followed with 11.8 million in 9.1 and 7.5 respectively. So top 5 states were all legal except for Ohio were legal during last year's Super Bowl. So only one new state
Top
really
5 states by population
pretty much, yes,
that are
which would
legal,
make sense. Yep,
which
would
all
make
makes
sense.
perfect sense. No earth-shattering news here.
Nope.
People
100,000
logged in and bet the Super Bowl, the biggest
Oh,
betting single day of the year. Yes.
yeah, according to the CEO saying the Super Bowl was a record-breaking event. GeoComply data reveals that Americans' interest in legally betting on the Super Bowl has never been higher. Over 100,000 geolocation checks in and around State Farm Stadium from over 8,000 accounts, which is
the
interesting,
Wi-Fi
right?
there sucks.
Did it really?
We were over there. Do you remember when we were over there? We were at the bar.
Yeah, but that
Had to
was, I
keep
don't know if that
logging
was,
in, logging out.
was that BetMGM's Wi-Fi or the stadium's Wi-Fi? Might have been BetMGM's Wi-Fi
I don't know.
or both.
Right
I mean, it
across
was,
the street.
so I don't know.
know.
We were literally across the street, if
Yeah.
not like, I don't know if I can call that across the street. It's in the same complex. Like it's in the same.
Oh yeah, no, there was just a street to cross. It was,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
we could have thrown a football to the stadium.
Easy. Baseball,
where
yeah.
we were. Yeah.
Yeah,
We were
just
right there.
not far from where we were. So, look, I'm kind of surprised though. Only 8,000 accounts were checked in around the Super Bowl. Probably had 100,000 people down there with workers and everything else going on, TV people,
At
radio,
State
media.
Farm?
Yeah. 100,000 location checks from over 8,000 accounts.
Yeah, that's about 8%. I tell you all the time, like 10 to 15% of the population bets. If it's 100,000 people there, 8 to 10,000 were logging in to bet. Probably that makes perfect sense to me. I don't know. Did you get annoying texts yesterday from people that asked you like about what are you betting? Like, or what should I bet? Or like
DMs. I didn't get text messages. I got DMs like crazy.
DMs. My DMs are closed only unless I DM someone
Yeah.
or they're following me or following each other. So I didn't get too many DMs yesterday, only a couple, but I got a bunch of texts like as I'm driving, racing back to get home for the kickoff. They're like, "Hey man, what are you betting?
Betting. Yeah.
I want to
What's
make
your
some
thought?
money today."
Yeah.
Even my wife's cousin, love her to death, but she's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about betting today. What should I bet?" And I'm like,
I told you last night on the Twitter Spaces off of Boston versus the book on Twitter that I had 4 people yesterday who had never bet before in their life ask me, "Hey, I want to bet today." Because it was legal in their state now. 2 of them in Massachusetts, 2 of them were in Ohio. And they're like, "Hey, I want to bet today. I've never been able to bet. I want to bet on the Super Bowl. What should I bet?" And like that's what I was like, "Oh,
Over.
okay."
I told every person that asked, I said, just bet the game over. And they're like, well, I don't want to bet that. Okay.
It was the
You
best
asked me
bet.
what you wanted me to bet, what I was betting or what you think I think you should bet. I say over and you go, I don't want to bet that. Give me something else. I don't know what else. Pick it. Watch the show. I referred them all to the BVB. Go watch the Friday show. There's a million bets on the Friday show. I don't have time to watch the show. Just give me what I should bet. I just did. You didn't listen. I asked you to watch the show. You didn't do it. I'm driving. I can't be bothered.
Don't blame you.
Middle Sig wanted to make a play yesterday. Did you hear this story?
No.
Saturday morning, I'm exhausted. I'm at the house. You guys are gone. There's not a light on. There's nothing on. I slept. I got up and did a hit in Philly and then a hit in Atlantic City, went back to sleep.
Good
I
for
said,
you.
I can't even drive. Like, I'm so tired. I'm just sleeping in. So I sleep in and I get the call from Middle Consig Kelsey. And I'm like, I still answer the phone when they call. I don't know how
Right.
many of you have kids or wives or girlfriends that just they only answer when they want something, but when they call you, you better answer right away. I still answer. So I'm like, "Hello, I'm half asleep." She goes, "I want to bet on the Super Bowl." And I'm like, "First of all, you're calling me right now to tell me this? Okay, what do you want to bet?" "I want to bet the Eagles. I think they're going to beat the Niners." "Okay, how much do you want
Chiefs.
to bet, big shot?" It costs you 11 to win 10. And she's like, "I want to bet $100." I'm like, "You want to
Oh,
bet 100? Okay, so you got to give me 110." And my wife goes, "Well, daddy's the best bookie to do it with because if we win, he pays, but if we lose, we don't have to pay." And I said, "What kind of bullshit is this?
a lot of guys like that arrangement.
This is bad paper. That's what's known in the business on the street as bad paper." I said, "I don't want no bad paper from you." I said, "If you want to bet it," I said, "Jess, go to the book and get her whatever she wants." And she's like, "No, I just want to do it with you. Or when are you coming home?" I said, "I don't know when I'm coming home. Why?" She goes, "Get a ticket while you're down there. We'll mail it in." I said, "Do you understand? You live 5 minutes from a
Right.
place that you can go
Go
just
to
buy the ticket."
yourself. What the?
Yeah. So I was completely like aggravated. And I said, "All right,
That's awesome.
as soon as she gives you the 110, Jess, she got a bet." So I got
That's
home
awesome.
yesterday and she was babysitting. She got a babysitting gig where she probably made
Nice.
more than the 110.
Easy. Sure.
So grandma came over and grandma was rooting for the Chiefs. It's going
Uh-oh.
crazy on that side of the house. And she came
Uh-oh.
over in the third quarter and goes, "I don't want to root against Kelsey though, because I think she made a bet." I'm like, "Who'd she make the bet with?" And Jess said, "Well, she said if she wins, you're going to give her 100." I said, "Where's the 110? Listen, I won't even charge her juice.
Oh,
We'll
even
do
money.
even money."
Oh.
So Kelsey woke up today to take Kendall for the walk or to school.
Nice.
And as she's going out the door, I said, "Where's my 100?"
Beautiful.
The door shut and she left.
Nice.
And I got to chase. Do you believe this bullshit? So,
You gotta
yes, you're
chase in
right.
your own
Like
house.
everybody, the hype was real. You're right. The hype was real. I think the props were fun. The
Yep.
players, the teams were both one seeds. It was Jalen Hurts. It was Patrick Mahomes. It was Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, the Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, all the brands, everything was popular. So yes, it was heightened. But what did you give people in the DMs or in the text when they were asking you yesterday? Did you give them anything?
They wanted my favorite prop hit, which was shortest touchdown under a yard and a half. So they said if I should bet one prop today, what should it be? I said that. I go, it's really juicy. I
Yeah,
got
you
it at
got to lay 160.
I got it at 160. It was 185 at close.
Right.
So it was juicy. I mean, it was a juicy bet. But
Happens.
that was my favorite bet. I make that every year in the Super Bowl, and it cashes. I think it's 6 out of 7 now that prop is
Yeah.
cashed, and it's juiced accordingly for that very reason to go ahead and do that. But I am envious of one thing that, like, when I have Madeline, she's 8. So I can't go to a book and like tell her to stand off to the side while I go use the kiosk. So like
Why
that's
not?
where
You can.
not really, because it's like she gets freaked out. She's in a place she hates smoke. She doesn't like
Oh, yeah.
to stand by herself, or I don't feel great because I'm staring at a screen and my kid's by herself in a casino. Too many
Won't
transient
be the
people.
first one to do it. I there were times when I held people's kids while they went into the counter. I went
It
over
just
to the deli and
it's so
held their
degenerate. Yeah, it's
kid
just so
while they
degenerate to
ran
do.
in, and I was like, "Listen, I ain't judging, but you
Right.
cannot bring that kid in this book. You
Yep. No,
cannot
it's
do it."
against the law. You can't do it. So I having an 18, I'm looking forward to when Madeline's 13, 14, 15, I can go ahead and do it. But this is the first year where like she actually cared. Like she understands what we do.
Right.
And Like when we did the Twitter Spaces last night, like she wanted to be on it, like more than anything. She was hounding me to be on it. She wanted
Right.
to talk. She wanted to talk to you. She
Yep.
wanted to give her take. She wanted to say why she was mad that the Chiefs won. And she's like, I hate the Chiefs and blah, blah, blah. And this morning, you know, we were walking out the door and she's like, wait, no, I was putting her coat on. She's like, no, she ran upstairs, grabbed the sweatshirt that I bought her the last 2 years, bought it, and, you know, put it on and like walked out of
Oh,
the
the
house.
Super
proud
Bowl
as,
sweatshirt.
yeah, proud as
Nice.
can be, you
Yeah.
know, same one, which did you see those sweatshirts? Just like last year, they don't put the pockets on the side. There's only one big pocket in the front. I've never seen this before with sweatshirts. I thought last year was a mistake. Same brand, same sweatshirt, new year, same problem with no pockets.
It's the way they're designing it. I
It
guess.
sucks.
I don't know.
She hates it. I hate it too because all
Yeah.
she does is put her fingers down in the front and she ends up ripping the pouch
Oh,
on the
yeah.
front of the
Oh,
thing
that's no good.
because she wants to put her
Yeah.
hand somewhere. I don't blame her. I want to put my hand somewhere too in a sweatshirt
Right.
just to be comfortable. So,
Right.
but yeah, she wore that out this morning, and she's also she finally like, got what we do. So it was fun to see her reaction to everything and watching what we were doing during the week. And I mean, you know, I always get reflective on things, but like last week was really fun. That was a really fun.
It's great.
Nothing bad happened. Like the worst thing that was that we couldn't connect with Brian Bennett. That was the worst thing. Everything worked. The show went off without a hitch. We got every interview we really wanted to do, and it was
Yeah. The only one was we didn't get Pat again
right.
himself, but we got everybody else. I would have liked to talk to Kay Adams for 5 minutes if we could have got that done.
You did
but,
talk to her
you
for
know, that
5
was
minutes, just
busy.
not on the air.
Right, we did.
You got the
Um,
picture. You got the picture at least.
But I mean, and I tweeted all the pictures and stuff on Saturday. You tweeted it some yesterday. I just want to tell both you and Farrah both, like we did fucking awesome job. Like that was, you know, I have the tweet planned and then I forgot to do it yesterday while I was driving, but like I wanted to recognize both of you for what we did. I mean, that was we were talk about dogs. Like we were dogs. We were we weren't staying close by. We did a lot of driving. we did a lot of stuff. I was fucking exhausted.
I
last
know
Saturday.
Phoenix really well now. Like I know the highways now. Like I really do. I drove to North Scottsdale. We were in Sunrise. We were in Surprise. We were downtown. We were in Glendale. Like I feel like I know Phoenix fairly well now after driving around.
We
The
only
amount of
drove
driving.
by Tempe too that one night with all that waterfront and all that
Yep.
other stuff. We'll go back down there and go to a hockey game. I got the contact for that as well. But everybody that came on has texted me and said how much fun they had on the show, how cool the brigade is, and they could actually see when they were sitting at the one angle, they could see the chat rolling like on my phone the way I had it set up.
Right.
And they've watched back a lot of it. We had guys cut their own clips and
Yeah.
put them out. I mean, Trista did as well. Like that was a really, you know, successful trip. People keep asking me. I've been getting texts all morning because I did a couple shows this morning. Like, how was Media Row?
Right.
We had a professional show set up with a backdrop, some headphones, some microphones, some cameras, and you know, all the credit goes to you and Farrah at least for setting it up and getting all the shit in there. We got it all in, we got it all out, everything maintained. We didn't lose nothing, we didn't break nothing.
Thank goodness. Yeah, nothing broke. Thank goodness we got it in, we got it out. We proved that now, you know, that we can get it done, and next year it's going to be a walk in the park. Before we get to that, though, did Gronk make that kick? Did you watch any of it? Because there's like a legitimate conversation going on right now whether or not Gronk made the kick or not. It might have been
happened so fast.
Of all of the Super Bowl hype, of all the publicity, I can't believe FanDuel spent what they spent on that. It was a blip. It wasn't even like I thought they'd do like a 1 minute. I don't know. I thought it would be like the Bud Bowl or something. I thought they'd actually take time to set it up. They would. It was so fast, and the ball flew so far to the left. Then they said he missed it. Then everyone said, well, no, he made it. Then FanDuel tweeted out a side angle which showed the ball clearly going left and wide, and they deleted it. They deleted the tweet. I saw it. I retweeted it. I said, "Oh yeah, it clearly wide to the left." And then they deleted it, and I was like, "Why did they delete it?" Because it clearly shows. I don't know if they like the controversy or the question or what, but they had Gronk on the side of a 100-story building in Phoenix for months, and it was like a blip.
First of all, there's no 100-story.
Whatever the hell it was a huge building.
There's no 100-story buildings in Phoenix. I think the highest story building is like 45 stories.
All right, how high? Whatever high, that was the biggest building downtown. They had Gronk's likeness on it. It was at least 20 stories.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how much money was spent on that? And like
millions upon millions.
We can't yet get a little grocery bag, like, and they're giving them for this nonsense thing. I didn't refuse. I just didn't acknowledge it all week. I'm like, I don't care about this at all. I don't know who does. Then watching the commercials and watching the game, and I made it home in time for the kick, so I'm watching it. It happens so fast. The kick goes up. It looks like it misses, but it looks like it makes it. I don't know. They never mention it again. And I'm like, what did I just see?
Fireworks went off. Celebration. Oh, Gronk misses it, but qualified users still win, which was like, wait, wasn't the point to give $10 million in free bets to everyone?
Right.
Like,
what does that mean?
What? What is what if you're a qualified user? What does that exactly mean? Like, it got so convoluted and confusing that I don't think it ever happens again. I don't think that we see these types of promotions again because, one, Gronk's not a kicker. Two, I know he made a ton of media appearances, and him and Kay Adams did like 18 interviews and a commercial together on top of that. So, I mean, there may have been, payout from that or value from that, but
I don't know.
I don't understand that at all. That didn't make any sense to me at all with the whole thing. And I mean, again, I ask this question all the time. Did that get people to bet?
Hell no. That might get people to not bet.
Right?
Like, with all of it, and, we traded texts about, New York's going to push for this thing to pull back some of the advertising.
Yep.
A lot of markets. It's coming on too much, too fast in a lot of places, and nonsense stuff like this using big names, whether they're current or of the past, is going to turn people off more than turn people on to the betting.
I would agree. I think people are going to get frustrated by it. I think people are going to be annoyed by it.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, wait, what the heck did you guys just do? I don't understand. This is what? Because it was so much on the lead up. And then, they had a full press conference. They had a Rob Gronkowski press conference for this on Radio Row.
I'm glad we didn't go to that.
I walked past it, took a picture of Gronk, and kept on going. I was like, "Oh,
you did. You took a good picture of Gronk, both of you."
And then
Perrault took some really good pictures too, by the way, over the weekend.
Yeah, he did. Oh, really? All the interview pictures were all done by Farrah. Those are all Farrah photos. All the ones we were tweeting were great to do.
Yeah.
All right. We missed this on Friday, so we got to do it to a Monday. We'll do 2 of these this week for our friends at WagerWire for the WagerWire market report here. So WagerWire, you guys have asked us, what is WagerWire? WagerWire empowers you to take control of your action and view your bets as a portfolio of assets that can be bought and sold at any time. Bettors will soon be able to trade their bets through the WagerWire mobile app and within partner sportsbook apps via an integrated technology solution. You can jump in and out of futures all season long, cash in on parlays before they bust, and trade game lines up to the buzzer. Seamlessly sync your favorite sportsbooks to track real-time value of your bets, stack rewards, and play with celebrities or friends. Interested viewers of BVB should join into one of the fastest growing communities in sports betting at WagerWire, one word, at WagerWire on Twitter, or go to wagerwire.com. Enter your email for updates and early access to the app when it launches. Okay, so we talked about this a bit on Friday, but the futures are out for next year's Super Bowl.
I see that.
Any value in grabbing a hold of a number, a long shot number today, and holding it?
Well,
or should you wait for the draft?
I mean, we had Adam Hill on, and he told us that Aaron Rodgers is going to come out of this cave in 4 days of darkness and go to the Raiders. And I can guarantee you,
He wasn't reporting it, so he was believing it. Just to be clear.
If that happens, that number's going to come. I don't know. I'm looking at FanDuel right. It's 40 to 1.
4,000. Yep. That's 4,000.
It goes to 25 immediately on that news.
Not lower?
Oh, I mean, the AFC is a juggernaut, but they got a
True.
last place schedule, right? Are they?
Yes. Well, not be last place, but they'll have a
second
non-playoff
last
schedule.
place, yeah.
They'll have a non-playoff schedule.
Did they finish ahead of Denver?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, third place schedule in that division. It'll come down. Wow, Denver's 35 to 1 to win a Super Bowl, and the Raiders are 40. I mean, that doesn't even make sense to me.
Caesars has them flipped.
Yeah. Is
How
there
about the
value?
Lions? The Lions have a shorter odds than the Patriots. First time I've seen that in a while.
25 to 1. What does that graphic say right there?
30 to 1 versus
30 to 1.
50 to 1.
Listen, there's guys that take shots immediately on good prices because they're good prices, not because they're good teams. The first bet I took the first year back after the stint in West Virginia in the risk room, somebody bet the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl at 100 to 1 for a dime. So it was, it's going to win 100,000. And Tony D was like, came up for approval. And I said, call them out there and ask them if they want more. And he's like, what are you talking about? It wins 100,000. I said, it doesn't win anything. The Dolphins aren't winning the Super Bowl. And I said, if they win a Super Bowl, you can fire me.
Ooh.
And he's like, really? I said, yeah. I said, but I want it in my bonus check when they don't. And he used to just go back and forth with me about that because he never got credit for taking those bets when we knew it was the right thing to do. So you're going to get people that are going to take their shot on the Jets, speculative bet. You're going to get someone that's going to take a shot on.
How about the Jags? 28 to 1.
I was going to say the Jags are going to be a popular choice, right? Anything over 20 to 1 is a popular choice.
I mean, the 5 teams that you would expect, KC, San Fran, Buffalo, Philly, and the Bengals, those are all single digits, 9, 8, 6, 5 to 1. And then you go into the Cowboys, Chargers, Jaguars, Lions wing of it. A little more of a long shot. And then you get into the Packers, Dolphins, Rams, Jets, Ravens. But I mean, the Saints are 5 to 1. And it looks like, Derek Carr's not going to get
50 to 1.
50 to 1. Sorry, 50 to 1.
Yeah.
That they're not going to be, the Saints are not going to be trading for Derek Carr, but they might be getting Derek Carr via free agency because the Raiders have to cut him.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Just look for long, crazy, just make the game. Can they get there? I don't know.
I mean, it's a lot to tie up your money.
Yes, for a long time.
I used to tell people that you have to be okay with that, like tying up.
You're buying it. I mean, the way I look at it is like when you buy something, you get something for it. You're buying a ticket. You're buying a piece of paper. And that piece of paper could one day turn into something else, but the money's gone. Like it's not like, you purchased something. Can't play around.
Connor Winston brings up a good point. He says here in the chat, without Rodgers, the North is ripe for the taking, and Detroit has a decent chance.
Yep.
I mean, Detroit has better odds to win a Super Bowl than the Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers.
Yes, they do.
Like, okay.
They have better odds than the Rams, better odds than the Giants, better odds than the Bucks, better odds than the Saints, better odds than the Seahawks.
Winning your division gets you a home playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Buying a ticket on a team to win the Super Bowl that gets at least one home playoff game is not a bad move, because if they win that home playoff game, pretty much anything you're buying them now, it's going to be less. And that's where companies like WagerWire can come in and help you either move that bet, get out of it, sell it, keep it, hedge it. There's all kind of options. We found that out by doing the exactas. Those of you that followed along, can see the value in that.
I learned a lot about doing that. I can't wait to do that again for the playoffs, for the NHL playoffs. I learned a lot.
Oh yeah. It makes it less stressful, right? Like
way less stressful, but I also went too light on the heavy favorites. Like I equally put together like I was just betting, $20, $30 on every single bet I was making. So like realizing that in order for the return to be equal, I've got to lay more
Bet
down on
more.
the heavy favorite because
Correct.
by the time I bet the Chiefs at 5-1, I was on 14
Enough.
and a half to 1 and 5-1. Plus
Yeah, so
all the other
you
all the
cost
other money.
average that though, like the actual price you got is somewhere in
Right.
between. If
Oh,
you
I
get
got
20
great
to
closing
1 at
line value.
14, and
Yeah.
if you have 20 at 14 to 1 and 20 at 5 to 1,
Yeah.
the price you got, the true price that you got is 9 to 1. It's the
Right.
middle.
So
So
it's good, but it's not what I'm
I
going to
mean,
be
they were
more
plus
aggressive.
105 on Sunday.
Right.
Anything you got was better than plus 105.
Correct. No, it was better, but it still wasn't where I wanted to be in terms of looking at, because I bet so many other futures, right? So as I looked at the money and kept track of the money to get the win back, if the Eagles had won, I would have been much better off.
Of
But
course. Same.
Eagles losing, so then I ended up like barely up, like
Barely
the whole
winning. That's
barely.
when the favorite wins,
Yeah.
that this process is a just barely win
Yeah.
situation. But
But I
like
learned a lot about it.
if the Bengals would have been in the Super Bowl, we both would have been in a very, very good position.
Yes.
So
But
we
I'm
were
going to
this close
start
again.
now when I start seeing exactas for the for the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm going to start going
When they're up at
Bruins.
FanDuel, we got a lot
Yeah.
to talk about with that, but like we got to wait to see them in town, and then bam, we're gonna start.
Yeah.
Bing,
I'm going to
bing, bing,
start
bing, bing,
in
picking
bang
up
bang. I'm going to
prices.
start
Yeah.
building that portfolio
Yes.
now
Yes.
versus building it before the postseason. I'm going to build it before we even know the playoffs. Just taking a look at it because the Bruins are in the postseason. We know where Toronto is. We know where Tampa is. And we just start building the West as to who they could potentially be facing off against.
Right.
You start going through the Western, and there's some really long shot Western teams. And you're only investing, a couple $100. You're not investing a ton of money on it, but the return on it right now,
Upside.
you get it right, 30 to 1, 40 to 1, 50 to 1 type of returns you can come back in with. And it's far more likely that we get, a Boston, Dallas, maybe a Tampa versus Edmonton type of cup. And we're sitting in all these tickets. And it's just, we've got them all played out. And then we can stack and play like that. So watching you do it with baseball now, me doing it myself with the NFL, learning so much, I'm really excited to do it for hockey.
Yeah.
NBA is, maybe I'll do it with the NBA
Oh, I
too.
think we're gonna have a field day with the NBA because I don't know who's gonna win the West.
That's what I
no idea
mean.
who's
That's
gonna
why
win
it's
the
so
West.
there's so many teams.
Well,
It's
I
too
mean,
complicated.
you might have to dig into that money a little bit deeper. That's all.
Oof.
I think you leave yourself some crazy options because I think anybody can beat anybody. I don't think I don't think there's a clear favorite. This over move on the Suns is absurd. Actually, I mean, we haven't even seen him yet in a uniform. Like,
Right.
I mean, you just
It's
made
next year
them the
for me.
favorite.
It's not this year. It's next year for me for the Suns. I don't think they win it this year. It's next year.
Oh,
Next year they're going to be a really tough team to deal with next year.
Rainmaker just came in. Rainmaker 512 came in and said, one, he needs hats. Rainmaker,
Everybody
let me
does.
know we're
We
going to
know.
work on some hats. And two, the Steelers at 50 to 1 has value. Rainmaker, the Steelers are not winning the Super Bowl next year. Doesn't
Let's say the
matter.
Patriots are
what
going to win the
price
Super Bowl
is.
next year. It's not happening. Like
What
both
is
our
the
teams are
Patriots price versus the Steelers price right now? Is it the same?
50 to 1. Steelers
Oh,
are
the Patriots price
same.
is worse.
No, not at Caesars. It's the same.
55.
It's the
Oh,
same at
all
Caesars.
right. Well,
It's
people
equal.
in
It's
FanDuel have it 55 for the Patriots and 50
Yeah.
for the Steelers.
We'll see. Year
Do
2 for
you
Pickett.
know
Year 3.
if the season ended today in the NHL, do you know what the first round matchup would be in hockey?
Boston versus Pittsburgh. Oh, that's
Terrible.
great. Get the broom
No,
out.
it's not. It's fucking
Oh.
terrible.
What is it?
It's that. It's Boston versus
yeah,
Pittsburgh. I don't want
It's
that.
phenomenal. You should never want that. It's a sweep. Bruins are going to sweep you out. That's easy.
Damn it.
That's a sweep on that. All right. So the Super Bowl countdown began this morning for Las Vegas. The official handoff happened, football to football, city to city. Arizona handing it off. We had the guy on from the committee here in Vegas, talked about the Monday morning press conference being a really big deal for them. They get the handoff. There's a giant football in downtown Vegas, Dave. Giant Super Bowl football. They unveiled it this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Says, and the logo looks very similar to that logo. The colors are different, but it's 58 and LV three,
Oh, let me make
three
this
eyes.
bigger. Let me see that.
That's the
Oh,
logo.
yeah. Is that purple or blue?
It's bluish purple with a bright
Bam!
pink and orange.
That's gonna look nice on the
Oh,
jacket. I'm gonna
that's gonna look really
completely
nice.
get all the merch.
Yes. So
Oh,
that is
God.
now there's going to be supposedly a store selling that year round. So you're going to be able to buy that
Oh,
stuff.
dear Lord.
Yeah. Pretty fast.
Be
You can be
wearing
able to
it
buy whatever you want.
summer. I'll be wearing it winter.
Yep.
Be wearing it all
It's
the time. 364. We got 364 days till we got the Super Bowl right down the street.
February 11th, 2024. Get your tickets. This is going to be the most epic Super Bowl. I cannot wait to not have to travel to a Super Bowl. Never had this happen in my life. I mean, I'm serious. I am very much contemplating getting us a driver for the week.
Why?
So we don't have to drive anywhere. We just let them drive us anywhere we want. No
Do we have any
parking, no.
professional drivers that are brigade members
I guarantee we do. And if not, that they know people who do.
or that they would want to do it? Yeah.
But I think all of us should realistically have our own drivers. We're not going to drive all week. We're going to have our own drivers all week.
Shit, this sounds like a great plan forever. I didn't have to drive anywhere. I wouldn't drive anywhere. That sounds
But for
awesome.
the week, for 7 days to not have to drive anywhere in Vegas and let them pick us up and drop us off and have to pay for parking and deal with the traffic and the bullshit that's going to come with this, the DUIs and the nutcases and the assholes are going to crash. And, we're going to have ridiculous amounts of police present in this town.
Man, ever. Oh,
I
I didn't even think
this is
about that. Oh,
it's I-15 is going to be, forget Tropicana. It's going to be an absolute nightmare there with given the security and given just we have a stadium that is 300 yards from the strip, basically, or half quarter mile from the strip. It's going to be insane. And by the way, there is nowhere to park in Vegas around the region. Nowhere. So don't even think about it. So
I know where to park. I ain't telling you.
I know where to
we'll
park
be
too.
fine.
For Legion,
Yeah.
I know where to park, but I'm never.
Oh, I
I'm
know,
never
no. I
parking
know
there.
where to park at every joint in town. We'll be fine.
I don't want to deal with any of
okay.
it. I want to be dropped off in the valet lane and just say, "Hey, man, come pick me up. Let's go." I want to walk in, walk out. I want to drink what I want to drink. I want to do what I want to do, and I want to have fun and not worry about anything. Because normally I'm working because I have to deal with Radio Roads and everything. And I watch everybody else go out and have a good time. Everybody else party. Next year, it's my time. Next year, I'm going to enjoy my city because they're all coming to us. And we got the hookup and we got the fun. I can't freaking wait for the Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
Yeah, everybody was asking, "Hey, we're gonna have steaks at your house. We're gonna go to your place." I'm like, "Well, hold on. I'm gonna charge you all rent. Like I'm gonna charge you. Well, you coming to my house?
My
First
brothers
of all,
are
you're gonna have
already
to deal with my wife. Second
Not
of all,
me, yeah.
Perrault is the cook.
Yeah,
All right?
I'm the cook and the single guy. So I got a 3-bedroom house, but I'm the single guy.
Yeah,
My house is going to be. My brothers are already coming. Both my brothers have already told me that they're like, oh yeah, clear off the everything. We're taking over. We're coming in. I'm like, sure, come on in. It'll be an absolute. I mean, I think my whole family probably will be here next year.
it's gonna be fun as hell. I
It is.
honestly, I cannot wait. Like,
Oh,
it hit me when we had him on, and I apologize for not remembering his name, but my goodness,
Samuel Joffrey.
that's it.
Yep.
That's it. We had him on, and he was great. And I think he came back the next day when you were in the bathroom. He came over
Right.
and he's like, "Hey, I'm supposed to be back on today, right?" I was like,
Whoops.
Did Matt reach out to you?" I said, "We got a bunch of guys stacked up already. I don't know." And he's like, "Yeah, my guy told me, you guys wanted to have me on again." I was like, "I thought
Wrong
we
show.
covered everything yesterday."
Yeah,
But
we
I
covered
think
everything.
it's
We're good. There's nothing
Yeah,
else to talk
unless you got us a spot on the front of Radio Row, like right in front of everybody, that would be fine. But he's like, "No, we'll hook you guys up, make sure." So it was good having him on. It's interesting. I was asked multiple times where it's going to be after we had him on. They
Right.
still don't know.
They don't know. Tomorrow we're going to talk about this. I can't believe this just actually happened.
What?
Roger just sent me this text.
Oh no! What?
Major League Baseball's Joint Competition Committee has voted unanimously to make the extra inning rule permanent for all regular season games moving forward.
Thank you.
2023 and beyond. A runner
Excellent.
will be placed at second base at the start of every extra inning game permanently in baseball.
And that shit. Yes. I love it. What?
So bad.
What?
So bad.
It ends a game.
Manufactured bullshit.
We got to end the
Fake.
games.
It's just like
Save
a
the
shootout in
pitcher's arm.
hockey. Just like hockey. Manufactured bullshit. Ain't
Let's
the
end
game.
games.
It's just because
Well,
then you go to the
don't wanna play
playoffs.
for extra innings. Then you're going to try to play for non-extra.
They don't do
innings.
it then. That's great. Then we're going to play the playoffs and have it be totally different. A different game. Play the whole buck 62 with one rules. Oh, the playoffs start. New rules. Just like hockey. I hate it. Hate it in the NHL. Hate it in baseball. Play the game the way the game's supposed to be played always.
We have multiple people applying to be our drivers in the chat right now. This is outstanding.
Phenomenal.
I'm going to have to rent the community, the hall for one night I'm going to just lock it up that week for the BVB brigade party. The place over by the pool. Yeah, in the complex right here. Yeah, we'll get the whole place.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, everybody can swim and then hang out on the porch and all
If
that
the
other
weather's
stuff.
nice, please, the weather has to be nice. I really hope the weather's nice.
They'll bring sweatshirts and stuff. Who
I
cares?
know, but I'm saying it'll be great. If it was like 70 degrees during the week, it would be phenomenal. It'd be so much fun. It would be awesome to go ahead and do that. I would absolutely love that. So thank you, Roger Nader, for that. If you had to bet, where is Derek Carr playing football next year? You buying the New Orleans situation? Because the idea is he's not going to allow the Raiders to save $40 million by trading him. They got to cut him to keep the dead cap space to hurt the team. Don't blame him on the way out. But the Saints would be one of, not the team. There could be multiple teams interested in Derek Carr when he's on the free agent market.
I want to say yes to the New Orleans thing, but
I think it's going to be New Orleans. He went down there, kicked the tires.
right. Yeah,
He's
every
interested,
time they
clearly.
give you, well, he's definitely interested. Excuse me. He's interested in anywhere that wants to have him
Right.
because they clearly don't here. So, bye-bye. Peace out. He ain't even looking in the rearview mirror. He gone.
No.
So, but yeah, I don't know where else. I mean, where else could it be? Do you think the Colts are even an option?
Yes. I think there's a lot of teams. I think Tampa's an option. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be looking at quarterbacks who need a quarterback who's a veteran who can step right in and play right away.
Right.
I mean, the Jets could be a team that might take a look at him. I mean, these New Yorker guys, are so trying to get Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. It's actually hysterical.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
They're trying so hard. They're all like,